All right, good evening. If y'all can find your seats, we'll get started in just a minute. Let the last few people sit down, and then we'll get started. All right, well, welcome to tonight's community meeting. My name is Holly Welch, and I'm a Public Information Officer with California Team 7. We appreciate you taking the time to come and join us tonight for this meeting, either here in person or online. And we also appreciate Shadle High School for letting us use this beautiful facility. I also just want to take a minute to say thank you for just the incredible outpouring of support that your community has shown everyone on this fire. It has been incredible to see the amount of donations, the thank you cards. For y'all that are in one of the most difficult times that many of you may have seen, that the fact that you're taking time to help and to do whatever you can in your capacity has been just amazing to see, and it's something that we'll carry with us long after we leave here. We have a great lineup of speakers tonight to provide you an updated situation of what's going on around, and we also have a number of resources and other folks that are here available to talk with you after to get any questions you have answered, or at least to connect you with someone that can get you an answer. So before we get into our speaking, I'm going to go through a list of folks that are here that will be available afterwards to talk with you. We have Don Malone, the Chief of Spokane County Fire District 10. A representative of Michael Baumgartner's office, 5th District, U.S. House of Representatives. A representative of Senator Patty Murray, United States Senate. A representative of Senator Maria Cantwell, United States Senate. Kitty Klitsky, the council member, Spokane City Council District Number 3. Chris Jordan, Spokane County Commissioner, District 1. Josh Kearns, Spokane County Commissioner, District 3. Al French, Spokane County Commissioner, District 5. Betsy Wilkerson, the City Council President. Marcus Riccelli, Senator, 3rd Legislative District, Washington State Senator. Natasha Hill, Representative, 3rd Legislative District, Washington State Legislator. Tim Ormsby, Representative, 3rd Legislative District, Washington State Legislator. Leonard Christian, Senator of the 4th Legislative District, Washington State Senator. A representative of Patty Kruderers, Washington State Insurance Commissioner. Washington Department of Natural Resources, United States Environmental Protection Agency, Spokane County Emergency Management, the Salvation Army, and Spokane Regional Health District. So all of these folks will be available to you after this meeting. We'll have breakouts, and I'll go through the details of that after we get through the speaking portion of the meeting. For those of you online, if you have questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat at any time. We have people on hand that will get you answers to those questions as quickly as possible. So with that, we are going to go ahead and get started with Chief Tom Williams, who's the Fire Chief of City of Spokane Fire Department.
Did that work? Can you hear me? Okay, I can't hear myself. Thank you so much. Thank you for everyone for being here. Closer? Oh boy. Did we clean this first? Sorry. Thank you for being here. I know this is incredibly difficult times. We found this is one of the best ways for us to get information out and answer your questions. I first want to extend a deep sound sorrow from the men and women of the Spokane Fire Department for the tragic, really what we're living through right now. We have been and we will continue to be there for you. We're proud to be your fire department. I do want to reflect that I understand not everybody here is from the city of Spokane, and I can't speak for Chief Malone, but I would guess that he feels the same way. So what I'd like to do is just start the story for tonight of how we got to this place. This truly is Chief Malone's story. This fire started in Fire District 10 on a very nice Saturday afternoon, as many of you know. In my 36 years in the fire service, this is probably one of the fastest moving wildfires that I've ever been a part of, and I've been to many of them. We knew that this day, last Saturday, was going to be a dangerous day for us. We had our National Weather Service partners notifying us almost a week ahead of time that it was going to be a PDS, particularly dangerous situation. Those are rarely called. And so we had notice. And so your Spokane County chiefs, all of us within Spokane County, started talking. And within a few days, we've had multiple phone calls. And on Friday, the Friday before, we actually had a meeting. We had requested through the state MOB pre-deployment, thank you, goodness, pre-deployment of some state teams, and it was denied. And the reason it was denied, because there was none to send. As we all know, the state is in big trouble. So we, as a county, did everything we could to staff up. Just speaking for the city of Spokane, we added 2 Type 1 fire engines and 3 brush units, as well as hired an extra battalion chief or an additional battalion chief. And then all of the executive chiefs were essentially on call for the weekend. We were all listening and available. And all of the departments within Spokane County that could do that did that. On Saturday morning, we put together our own pre-deployment team, brought them to the Spokane Training Center where they were waiting. And literally, the minute they all assembled and got in service, this call came in. So we immediately threw additional resources at this fire, in addition to all of the normal dispatch stuff that we had. At one point, I think we had well over 60 pieces of apparatus fighting this fire. So I responded from home. I went and met with Chief Malone. Could you raise your hand real quick, Chief? Who was the incident commander, and he asked me to just forward deploy, go get a look at where this thing was going and what's happening. And I couldn't get in front of it. That's how fast this fire was moving. And so I know there's lots of questions on evacuation zones, and we'll get to all that stuff at some point, but this is one of those that's moving so fast, we didn't have a choice but to say, move the evacuation zones a mile, move them another mile, move them another mile. Where we're a little more meticulous in some of our fires that we feel more comfortable with, this one was not one of those. And so that's kind of how we got to such a large evacuation zone. This fire started in District 10. It burned through the city and into Fire District 9, where Chief Matt Vinci and his teams worked. I do want to stress, though, that every fire department in Spokane County that could send a resource did. State MOB was approved relatively quickly, and so we had state resources that started to respond, but it took them time. Our crews, all the crews that responded on that first alarm spent relatively 30 to 40 hours on the fire line until they started getting relief from the state. So that's just the first part of the story. Once the state MOB was enacted, we realized how big of a fire this was, and the level of incident management team escalated to the highest that you can get in the country. We were lucky to get California Team 7 with us, and they're going to speak to you today. So I'll let them start and finish the rest of the story.
Next, we have John Knowles, Sheriff, Spokane County.
Okay, I think it's very clear from Chief Williams just what a threat we were facing in our community, and just how prepared we were as prepared as we could be to deal with a fire of this scale. And every time we deal with one of these disasters in our community, and we've had a few, I am always humbled by just how much planning we can all go through, the resources we can have in place, and yet Mother Nature is still in charge. We see this repeated throughout our country, from the beginning of time. We are living in an area where we are expanding our urban areas into this rural and even wildlands around our area. And this is a threat that we face as a community. And just know that we will continually try to increase our ability to protect our neighborhoods, to protect our citizens. But at some point, we run into these catastrophes that will still overrun our ability to stop them. I am in awe of our firefighters and the work they did in our community last Saturday, and frankly, the work that they do year-round, and particularly in fire season, it's incredible that we don't have more homes lost, more lives lost, if it weren't for the work the men and women in our fire service do every day. I am grateful that our role is to go in and make sure our citizens are notified that it's time to leave or that they need to be ready to leave, and that we can help get you to safety. But I am extremely grateful for the men and women who are willing to put themselves right up against these fires and try to use the tools we have to stop it and keep us safe. I say all the time that I will take somebody who's trying to threaten someone else or threaten me or take any harm. I'm equipped to deal with that. I am not equipped to deal with fire that these men and women face. Fire doesn't have a soul. It doesn't care. It just destroys. And so my hat is tipped to our firefighters and for the work they do. So if you're comfortable, can I get a show of hands of people who lost their homes this last week? It's a lot. I just got chills seeing that from the number of people in here who've lost their homes. Life's different now. Life isn't over. Thank goodness we did not have any loss of life that we know of, and we've been searching. We didn't have any loss of life, but that doesn't necessarily take the sting away from each of you individually whose home is different now. And you don't know exactly what home's going to look like here in the future. And for every hand raised and everybody who evacuated so quickly, we get a lot of credit for law enforcement for how well we evacuated these areas. And I'm not going to diminish the work that my men and women did to go in and get neighborhoods cleared and to get people out. But honestly, we wouldn't have been successful if it wasn't for you all and your willingness to listen to our direction and and I'm certain it was chaotic when you were evacuating. But to move the number of people we did out of these neighborhoods in a matter of hours and no major injuries, no known loss of life, that's pretty incredible, and I credit you all with that. I want to thank you for complying with us. It meant that no lives were lost. And I think that's something impressive, and again, the credit goes to you for that. But let's talk a little bit now about the coming days, the coming weeks, months, and years as we work towards you getting back to a more permanent, normal living situation, a new permanent life where this can hopefully be a memory that fades. One of the other roles I have as the county sheriff is I'm the director of the Department of Emergency Management for the county. Most people don't know what the Department of Emergency Management does, what it is, and what its role is. But unfortunately, you're going to have to learn now what our role is and how we are going to help you get to recovered as soon as possible. I used this analogy last night in our community meeting, and I'm going to use it again tonight. I will tell you, back when I was a teenager and a young man, had a lot more hair, a little bit skinnier, I was pretty naive. I watched on the news of these disasters that happened everywhere else in the country but in Spokane. I've lived here 52 of my 53 years. You'd see these devastating hurricanes, these devastating floods go through areas, and they talked about all the resources that FEMA was bringing in and all of these states were bringing in to help these people recover. And I ignorantly and naively thought, well, apparently when something like that bad happens and your house gets washed down the street or a tornado throws your house into the next county, the federal government's going to come in and they're just going to build you a new house. Right? Anybody else naive like me and think that's how it goes? I'm the only one? Okay, I get it. You don't have to raise your hand. But after going through this process for the fires over the years, I'm going to shoot you straight. That's not what's going to happen. Okay? That's not what's going to happen. I'm going to give you a couple of statistics just to kind of set expectations. When FEMA comes in, you're going to hear of all these big dollar amounts that they're going to give for recovery. The way this process works is they make dollars available for certain things to certain people. And there are income levels that come into this, insurance levels, not insurance levels. They'll pay for some material cleanup, not for some material cleanup. And we all have to expend the money up front, and FEMA reimburses us. Now, through some of these different programs, which are all run through the Department of Emergency Management, they will, hopefully, we qualify and receive funds for both public assistance, which helps governments clean up public things that were destroyed, like schools, parks, utilities, infrastructure, things like that. And then there's personal assistance, which comes in and is money available to private citizens to help mitigate and restore some of the things in their homes. But again, there are a lot of qualifications on what they will pay for and how much. The average payment from FEMA to a private citizen for personal assistance is about $9,000. The maximum is anywhere from $42,000 to $47,000 that you can receive if you meet all of those requirements. There is going to be a lot of information asked from you, from us, and our job in the Department of Emergency Management, both in the city and the county, is to get you as much assistance as we can get you. Nobody is going to come write you a check outside of your insurance company. Nobody from the government is going to come in and write you a check for $400,000 to build your house. There is no amount of public assistance, charitable assistance, and all these charitable organizations that are coming together to get you as many resources as possible that is going to completely make you financially whole. And I'm not saying that to depress you. I'm just trying to set the reality in now. And I want to hit home to you just how important it is that you, and I hope you have been to the Disaster Assistance Center. And if you did one thing, I hope you were able to get in contact with the Spokane Regional Long-Term Recovery Group. If you haven't, please get in contact with the Spokane County or Spokane Regional Long-Term Recovery Group. They are going to be like social workers that help you navigate all of the different government entities, charitable entities, to help you get as much resources as possible to help you rebuild your home and your life from here on out. And like all good things from the federal government, while they have the largest batch of resources, they have also the largest amount of paperwork and loopholes to jump through, and it will be long and it will be confusing. This is where the long-term recovery group comes in. They will help you navigate all that. All they want from you is to get your name on a list. They will keep in contact with you. They will help you navigate all of that. And some people may choose not to. But as of last night, and I hope more people got registered today, of the 650 residences we lost, only 2 people had signed up with the long-term recovery group here. So I hope you take advantage of that if you haven't already. I will tell you that while nobody will be made completely financially whole from this, all of us in government, all of us that are working with these community groups, we are going to do everything we can to get you as close to whole as possible. This will take years. If you all have never had to build a house from scratch before, you're going to find out why a lot of people don't like to do it. It's going to take time. It's going to take resources. You're going to be frustrated. We are here to help you as much as possible, and you'll hear from more people on this stage about what different government entities are doing within their authority to make this easier on you. Okay? Just know, we're here for you. We care. We care about how your life has been turned upside down. And we will do everything we can to get you in the best position possible. And I will say it again, from me, thank you for doing the things you needed to do to stay alive in this disaster. I appreciate it. The devastation is incredible, and you'll hear some statistics. Our fire people are going to go through a lot of information that's going to show just how bad this fire could have been. But we didn't lose any of our community members here, and that's incredible to me. We can deal with homes. We can deal with sticks, rocks, bricks to build homes again. It's really tough to replace a life. In fact, impossible. So that is the bright spot for me. It's truly incredible. I'm glad that I'm looking at every single one of you here instead of having our folks trying to recover your remains. And I will thank you for your cooperation you gave us. It's my honor to serve you. It is the honor of all of our law enforcement. The men and women of the Spokane Police Department, the Spokane County Sheriff's Office, the Airway Heights Police Department, Liberty Lake Police Department, it was a heroic effort for them to get in and get people notified that it was time to leave. I'm proud of the job they did, and I'm very, very proud of the work our firefighters did. We have had a tremendous outpouring of support from the men and women in our community, and we're honored to do it. So with that, I'll turn the time over to our next speakers, and if you have any questions for me, you can find me afterwards.
Next, we have Brad Kaiserman with the American Red Cross.
All right. I'm Brad Kaiserman. I'm the Vice President of Disaster Operations for the American National Red Cross. Sheriff Knowles just gave you the single best explanation I've ever heard a local official give about how disaster relief works in the United States. I know because I'm an expert. I'm the former Chief Counsel of FEMA and the former Assistant Administrator for Recovery for FEMA. I now work for the American Red Cross, which is not a government agency. I tell you that up front. But I want to tell you a very important thing and why I'm here with you tonight. I'm here with you because of my grandparents, Ben and Bertha Levy. When they were my age and I was 10 in 1972, their house was obliterated by a flood driven by Hurricane Agnes in coal country of Pennsylvania. Yeah, they have hurricanes and floods in coal country in Pennsylvania. No one ever expected it. They lost everything. I was in your neighborhood yesterday, the day before. I've been in your neighborhood all week. The difference is you have ash and they had mud, but in the end, you lost everything. You lost everything the physical things that mattered to you. I watched my grandparents for a year. My grandfather died a year after that storm struck. It said hardening of the arteries on the death certificate. He died of a broken heart. And what I can tell you right now is that the people on this stage do not want you to die of a broken heart. What Sheriff Knowles said is spot on. Life is different. It's not over. Now, when Sheriff Knowles said, sign up for the long-term recovery group, some of you said, I know you did. I know you did. You said, I don't need that. I don't need that. Some other people need that. I don't need that. Please believe me. I've been doing this for a living for 40 years. And I do it because I saw what happened to my grandparents, because there were no resources in 1972. FEMA didn't even exist. None of this existed. None of it. And the resources are imperfect, and they're a patchwork quilt, and you will be frustrated. But you will recover. And if you leave here with nothing else tonight, leave here with hope. You will recover. And your life will go on. There's some things you have to do. And so please, sign up for that long-term recovery group. If I was sitting in your seat and I knew what I know, I'd sign up for that long-term recovery group. And I know how to do this, and I would need help. It's challenging, but it's doable. I've done this all over the country, and everyone recovers. They recover differently, but no one recovers alone. I will tell you that. Your community is one of the strongest communities I've ever been in. I've been here for a little over a week, and I can tell you right now, your community is going to recover and recover well. It's incredible. It's incredible. I now want to give you some really firm, concrete recommendations. First of all, I want to talk about safety. You're going to go back into your neighborhoods. Evacuations are lifted, you're going to go back in. And you're going to stand in that parcel where your home was. And you're going to step in to that ash. And you need to be wearing a Tyvek suit with booties and a mask, preferably goggles if you can get them, but glasses if not, but eye protection, a mask, Tyvek, booties every time. And please don't get back into your car or truck with those things on because they're carrying ash and the ash is dangerous. I am not a scientist, but I can tell you this much. The thing that will kill you because you survived the fire, the thing that's going to kill you is the toxins in that ash if you don't protect yourself from that. Many of you found a tote in your big gray tote in your driveway. It's got Tyvek suits in it, and masks and goggles and eye drops and other things to help you. Please put those on. And by the way, you can get lots more. The nonprofits are going to be, we're already, all of us, Salvation Armies, where are you, David? Salvation Army's over there, UMCOR's over there. Samaritan's Purse is right here. There's many, World Central Kitchen, there's a lot of folks who want to help. Please let us help. And let's begin with making sure that you've got that personal protective equipment and you are wearing that whenever you or your loved ones are in that ash. And then take it off before you get back in your car, back in your vehicle, and go back to where you are. And every time. That way you will be safe. Please do not bring your children or your pets into that ash, please. That is no place for children and pets. They will struggle with that. So that's the safety piece of this. Now I want to talk about assistance for a moment. So this Disaster Assistance Center that is here at Shadle High School is phenomenal. If you haven't been to it yet, it's open again tomorrow. I'd strongly encourage you to come. There are all sorts of resources available. I'll talk about the Red Crosses, but I'm going to tell you that other organizations are here and they're here to help you as well. The Red Cross is providing financial assistance. We provide about $600. You're saying that's not a lot of money. If you're incurring costs right now, $600 is $600 a cost you don't need to incur. If you're incurring those costs on a credit card and you're paying interest on that, take that $600 and use that to defray some costs. I don't know when FEMA will be here or whether there'll be a declaration or any of those things, but you can get that money tomorrow. If your home was destroyed or you suffered major damage, just come here. Go downstairs. There's nice people there. They've come from all over the country. I've got 300 volunteers from all over the country who want to help. And so they can give you financial assistance. Many of them are trained in psychological first aid. You might feel like you want to talk to somebody. Maybe you don't feel that way now, but when you start going through it, you might want to talk to somebody. There's also professionals who are disaster health services clinicians. They can help replace that CPAP that you left behind, or your prescriptions, or your eyeglasses, or your hearing aid, or any other piece of durable medical equipment that you need. They can help you with that, and they're right downstairs. And so please, come to this Disaster Assistance Center, and that's where you begin the recovery. This is the road to hope. This is where it begins. You can always go to redcross.org online, Red Cross, one word, redcross.org. And if you click Get Help, the first thing you're going to see pop up is Spokane area wildfires. And you'll be able to see when this Disaster Assistance Center closes, we're not done. We'll be at sites all over the community, and we'll be able to see every day where we are, and you can come get assistance there. We're going to be doing this for at least the next 3 to 4 weeks, minimum. And in addition to that, you can always call 1-800-RED-CROSS to get the same information if that's easier to remember. So 1-800-RED-CROSS, redcross.org, and you can get that assistance. And please, 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 we'll also have, we've got trucks out here today. They've got totes, they've got Tyvek. You don't have to take the whole tote. You can take spare suits. If you ever need it, just let us know that. We'll get you more. Not a problem. We're going to be in your communities, driving around. We'll help do that. So please be safe. Please continue to support each other the way you have. Please don't have a broken heart. Instead, have hope, have your future, and together we'll recover. And thank you for giving us the time tonight. Thank you very much.
All right, next we have Stephanie Hesselink with Samaritan's Purse.
Hi, all. I just want to say on behalf of Samaritan's Purse, we are here with you and for you. We are a nonprofit Christian ministry, and we come alongside the homeowner in this time, especially after the first responders, the law and fire have done their job, and now we come in and want to help you in this next phase of recovery and relief. And we do that as with the protection of the PPE, the personal protection equipment. We have trained team leaders that will come alongside you to do the sifting with you there to recover your personal items. It's all about, none of this is cost to you either. It's all free. We have volunteers from all over the country that are ready to come once we get the okay from the proper authorities. We have done this for many years. We've done many fires, many floods and hurricanes, and we know what you're going through, and we want to be there with you during these phases. So we have resources and flyers to sign up for us to get on the list for when we can go in. And I just want to let you know that we're thinking of you and we're here for you. And at some point, you will see a lot of orange shirts in your neighborhoods and coming alongside you for everything that you need regarding your personal contents in your home. And if you want to check with us on our table after the breakouts, we'll be there and we can talk more about what we do. Thank you.
Next, we have Ryan Swanson, long-term analyst with California Team 7.
Good evening, Ryan Swanson. I'm a long-term analyst with California Team 7, and I want to just give you guys some information about what happened on August 1st and then the following week. Next slide, please. So, not telling you guys anything new here. The entire West Coast, along with the state of Washington, is in a drought due to very low snowpack and very low precipitation for the spring. Next slide, please. So, coming into this fire, a couple things I wanted to look at was this data right here is temperature and relative humidity, and you can see August 1st is up there, and you can see prior to August 1st, we had record temperatures, very low humidity before the fire started. Next slide, please. So that led to extremely dry fuels, all of that information put together, very fine fuels on the left-hand side, but also the live fuels were drought stressed because of the lack of precipitation. Next slide, please. This is a weather chart showing August 1st sustained winds of 31 miles per hour and gusting up to 37 miles per hour on the day that the fire started. Next slide, please. So these charts are a little complicated. I'll walk you through it real quick. This is something called 10-hour fuel moisture. It's something that we use, we look at as a primary driver of fires on the western United States. And the red line on the bottom is a 21-year historical low measurement. The black line in the middle is this year, 2026. And right before it goes dash line, you can see that it comes together with that historical low fuel moisture reading. So we had extremely dry fuels that were the primary carrier of the fire. The dash line is a forecast line, and you can see that it starts coming back up towards the green line, which is average. Additionally, with this, you can see that we are at the bottom apex of the 21-year average, meaning this is your typical driest time of year, typical fire season as well. Next slide, please. So this slide is inverse. This is something that we call the energy release component. There's a lot of things that go into it, but it ties our weather and our fuels together, and it tells us how difficult fires will be to suppress. Basically, it's telling us that because of the weather and the state of the fuels, that fire is going to release so much heat energy that the water that we have from our hoses, the water from the helicopters, and the retardant from the tankers don't have enough heat sink capacity to remove enough heat from the fire itself to slow and put out the fire. And so this one, like I said, is inverse. The red line at the top is a 21-year maximum for this area. And you can see that black line approaches and goes above, meaning that we were setting records, new records, for how much energy the fire was releasing. Next slide, please. So I took all of that information and I put together some fire projection models to see if there was no suppression action taken on these fires, what could have happened. These are not deterministic models, not saying that this would have happened, but this is a possibility that could have happened if there was absolutely no suppression on the fires. So I ran all 3 fires. I started the ignition times at the approximate times of the ignitions, and you can see the pink outlines are where those fire perimeters sit today. This is a single burn period, a 24-hour burn period. The oranges and yellows, I just ran it for that one day while the winds were so high, and then allowed it to continue to burn as the winds settled down. So 24 hours after ignition. Over here on the left, you can see the Old Trails fire. It's covered up a little bit, but basically the modeled run wanted to burn with no suppression activity 9,200 acres. And because of the suppression activity, they were able to hold it to 3,176 acres. And then in the other boxes, you can also see we were able to model how many structures fell in the footprint of those 24-hour runs as well. And then, of course, all damaged and destroyed structures are devastating, but because of the actions that were taken on day one with the suppression from the local resources, and then as Incident Management Team 7 came in to continue to support that, we were able to protect all of those houses that were threatened by these runs. Thank you very much.
Next, we have Scott Grasmick, Operations Section Chief with California Team 7.
Good evening, everybody. First off, I'd like to offer my condolences to all of you and what you experienced, and then I would just like to extend my gratitude to the local fire districts, the chief, the sheriff for the opportunity to come in here and serve you and your constituents. So I'm going to give you just a kind of quick update where we are 11 days post-ignition of these 3 fires. The Old Trails, we're at 83% containment. Fairview, 97% containment. And the Autumn Lane, 89% containment. And so I think that's a huge effort for the men and women that have been on the fire line since day one. So the focus from that since the start of the fire has been to turn all that red lines you see behind me on the map to black. And so these folks have been working tirelessly 24 hours a day, 11 days straight, day and night, in the dirt, sweating, digging, dragging hose, and getting after it. And so that containment numbers that we have is from their effort. And the point moving forward for now, for the next probably 5 days, is to continue that. The folks have been focusing on digging and rooting out all the hot spots that are completely in there and extinguishing every single one, getting the containment lines built around these fires. And we're to a point now where we've got, anywhere from 500 feet of mop-up around in the fire perimeter, and they go in deeper and deeper each day. We're also to a point now where we're actually starting to clean up things from the fire, cutting trees, chipping brush, starting to backhaul things back to camp, and trying to get everything back to normal and what the potential new normal is moving forward. I have one ask of everybody as we continue to work the fire. We still have some more containment to get till we can get to 100%, but as the evacuation orders have been lifted and you all come in to see the damage and survey and check on one another, I ask that you take time to slow down, watch your driving. These men and women still have work to do over the next coming days. They're going to work as hard and tirelessly and effortlessly as they can to make sure these fires are out. And we just ask that your cooperation in that as we work to end this thing. And so from us and Team 7, we thank you for allowing us to come and serve you. Your community has been amazing. We've seen more support than I think any of us could ever imagine, from donations to food to hugs. So you've definitely taken a piece of our heart, and we just want to applaud you, so thank you.
Our last speaker of the evening is Tom Clemo, Incident Commander with California Team 7.
Well, good evening, everybody. Before I begin, I really want to express on behalf of Team 7, all 127 members that came here, of how much we hurt with you. All of our team members at one point or another have been on incidents that involve loss. We're kind of in the business of loss, unfortunately. And we know how difficult it can be. We have team members that have lost homes before, lost possessions in fire. And we do this business, we got into this business because we love helping people and taking care of people. It's who we are, it's what we are, and it's truly been our honor to do that. I want to carry on with Chief Williams' story and how we ended up in Spokane. And I will tell you that it was highly unusual the way it went, but it was extremely beneficial. Just time and place, it clicked. It was timing. Like my parents always told me, hey, you didn't get it this time, but it's timing, kid. So we were headed to Baker City, Oregon for, all right, we got somebody from Baker City, all right. Anybody else in the crowd from Baker City? We were headed to Baker City, Oregon. We arrived there on the 31st or 30th, somewhere in there. And our mission was to take over the Fox Fire and Powder River Fire from Southwest Incident Management Team 2. There are 38 complex incident management teams in the country. We're one of them. Southwest 2 is another. And as I was sitting in the room with the other incident commander from Southwest 2, his phone rang. And it was a coordination center that said, hey, can you guys extend a couple of days? And he said, well, let me call you back. And then my phone rang, and the same individual said, Tom, I think we're going to send you guys to Spokane. So within 15 minutes, 127 of us had checked out of hotels, and we were northbound. And I was on the phone with a multitude of people, including Chief Williams, other agency administrators, the operations section chief from the incident, and all of the members from my team were making contacts to counterparts in the area. And while driving northbound, had quite a bit of intelligence about what was going on here in Spokane. I was looking at a map on my iPad that showed a straight beeline of the old Trails fire. Pull the ops map back up. Of the old Trails fire that indicated high winds, and we were into neighborhoods. And that's what was clearly painted for us. So we actually have a guideline on how to assume command in what we call a hot handoff, and this really couldn't have been a hotter handoff. Our operations folks immediately went to the line and engaged with division supervision, branch directors. Our safety officers got in the field. Through the amazing coordination and generosity, we had the opportunity to get to Mount Spokane High School, and that was our command post for 5 days. And we operated out of there. And as you've heard from a few other people, and I kind of want to emphasize this part, that high school turned into an amazing demonstration of hope and generosity to the team. We had food trucks that showed up. We had individuals dropping off stuff all day long. We built what amounted to a general store in the lobby. And so firefighters that were out all day or out all night, because we've been running double shifts for everybody, they were able to come back, get something to eat, homemade food. I mean, I don't tell my wife, but I've been eating better here than I was kind of eating at home. She's probably watching this right now, throwing something at the iPad as we speak. But amazing, and they come back, they'd go through what amounts to a Walgreens or a Walmart. They'd get everything they would need because they don't have time to do that when they're going from fire line to chow line to bed. And that is something we have not seen before, not at that level. So when we moved to the fairgrounds, and if you look at the ops map, way down in the corner, there's a little triangle, little blue triangle. When we moved to the fairgrounds, it was all set up for us, and at our peak, we were at almost 2,000 people. The general store came with us. and it was tended to by a multitude of volunteers, and every night crews would come in, and every morning they'd come in after night shift. They'd pick up what they needed. They'd have a chance to call home, see how things were going, and they would tell all of us of what an amazing experience it's been in this community. It has been an honor to serve you. It has been an incident that will go down in our team's history books as probably one of the most amazing events of coordination, collaboration, and community that we've seen. If you see any of us in a black shirt with a Team 7 logo on it over the next couple of days, and you have any questions you don't feel comfortable asking in a group, or you forgot about tonight, ask us. We'll do everything we can to get you the answer. And when we start heading southbound on Sunday morning early back to California and back to where our folks are from, we will forever remember the generosity and the gratitude of Spokane.
All right. Well, now we're going to move into our breakout sections. And all of you, I'm going to read out the numbers. If you all exit out the door that you came in, when you turn left, there's several maps taped up on the walls, and each map has a number by it. And so I'm going to read out the numbers, and if you have questions for these specific areas, you just find the number and find the people standing at the map, and they will get you an answer. So, elected officials, you are going to be at sections 1 and 2. Out the door to the left. And if you don't mind when I call your name, if you can get up, I don't think you're going to be able to get by there, but there's stairs here and a ramp over there. So 1 and 2, if you have questions or comments for elected officials, if you have some, if you want to speak with them, go to sections 1 and 2. Y'all can go ahead. Section 3 will be the representatives from California Team 7. If you have questions about operations or anything related to what the team has done, we'll go to map number 3. Number 4 will have the local sheriff, if you have questions about evacuations or anything related to the sheriff's jurisdiction. And at maps 5 and 6, there will be local fire folks stationed there. All the other resources that are listed on your agenda will be at the tables where you came in. There's, like I said, several volunteer organizations that are here to provide you information, so please take advantage of that. So with that, I just want to thank you again for coming tonight and for being here with us. I hope you find all the information that you need and have a good evening.